Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the second episode of Stuff on Small Talk. I'm your host, Steph Ravello. We are broadcasting from Chicago, Illinois. Shout out to Hubble Park. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about investing, and specifically investing for beginners. So this is for the people that haven't invested yet, that don't know where to start, and normally these people tend to be scared of investing. They see it as such a big and intensive act, but really it's super simple, and I highly recommend you guys start investing at least at a small scale. And so yeah, let's get right into it. So if you have money that's just sitting around doing absolutely nothing, if it's sitting in a savings account and you're not pulling out of it every month, I highly recommend to open an investment account. And with these tips that I'm about to show you, I hope that they can have a big impact in your life. So with that, let's get into it. So first, let's talk about what a stock is. So a stock is simply a fractional ownership of a corporation. So if you own a stock of McDonald's, you are a part owner at a very small scale of McDonald's. And the next two things here are an ETF and index funds. And for beginners, I only recommend investing in these two types of investments. So an ETF is a basket of multiple stocks. So in an ETF, you can have Netflix, you can have Google, you can have a little bit of Microsoft, Tesla. It's a collection of stocks created into one fund. And then an index fund. An index fund is a portfolio constructed to match or track the assets of a financial market index, such as Standard & Poor's 500 index, also known as the S&P 500. So Standard & Poor is a company that ranks the top 500 companies in the US. So an index fund is really comprised of a little bit of all these 500 companies. So if they're all doing well and the market's moving up, your investment's moving up. And then if it's going down, same thing, your money moves with how the market is going. So ETFs tend to be subsectors of an index fund. So there might be a tech ETF, which would take all the tech companies that are in those 500 companies. There could be an energy sector ETF that only tracks the energy companies within an index fund. So an index fund tends to be subsections of the index fund, which is the entire 500 companies. So the next slide here. So it shows you if you have 15 grand and you put into certain investments, how much your money would grow. So let's start with the traditional savings account, which I'm assuming if you haven't started investing, hopefully you have money in your savings. So let's see if you have 15 grand in your savings account. The return on the savings account is less than 1%, 0.9%. So in 10 years, your money only grows to 16,406. So in a savings account with 15 grand over 10 years, it only grows $1,000 and just over $1,000. Guys, that's nothing. That's pitiful. It's not in red by accident. I have that as a no-go. That's no good. Don't want your money there. So now I have the SPY-G ETF. Again, you don't need to be worried about what's comprised inside of it. All you got to worry about is what's the return. How much money are you going to make if you put your money into this SPY-G ETF? If you put 15 grand, you will make a 16.4% over a 10-year span. Guys, I'm not making this up. This is all public information. You can find it on Yahoo Finance on your own. If you put 15 grand at just over 16% over 10 years, you will make $68,000. $68,000, guys, compared to that savings account that you made 16. Look at that difference. I mean, it's insurmountable. It's so simple, guys. You don't need to read financial statements. You don't need to know about how every company is doing and try to day trade. None of that. You just put your money in every month and you just watch that thing grow. Let's check out another ETF, the IWM ETF. So in the last 10 years, they've had a return of 10.5%. And there, it equals 40,711 at the end of it. Now, as you can see, the SPY-G ETF is only 6% higher than the IWM, yet the amount of money you end up with is not 6% higher. That is a lot more than 6%. Now, the reason that is something called compound interest. So that is interest earning interest. So every year, your investment is going to accumulate interest for you. So compounding interest means it automatically reinvests that money, that interest you're making, it automatically invests it back into your portfolio so that it can make interest on top of that. It's a beautiful thing. Compound interest over a 10, 20, 30-year period is insane. So you can see here it's 6% difference, but the return is not 6% more just because of compound interest. Now here's the SPY index fund. So that's the index fund I referred to earlier. That's the S&P 500. So it's tracking the top 500 companies. In the last 10 years, it's had a 13.62% return. So at the end of that, you end up with 53,782. So look at these guys. Like these three investments, again, they're in green on purpose. That's good. That's a go. You want your money in the green. You don't want to be in the red. You want to be in the green. And the difference between that and a savings account is insane. I mean, you guys can see the numbers here. I'll post the Excel sheet in the bio if you guys are, for all you math nerds that are interested in seeing how I got these calculations or these numbers. But I mean, I'm sure if you guys don't want to do the math, you just want to put your money in and see it grow. And guys, it is really simple. And like I said, these percentages I'm showing here are public information. They hold true. It's really simple, and like to find these numbers is actually not hard at all. So the great quote: if you give a fish to a man, he'll eat for one night. But if you teach him how to fish, he'll eat for life. So I'll show you guys exactly how I even found these numbers on Yahoo Finance. It's literally super simple. Let's pull it up. Guys, you can put ETF. Any ETF, and you can see there's a bunch here than what I listed. There's private, VU, TAN. Let's click on ARK Innovation. I don't know anything about it really. They go to performance, and boom. So this one doesn't quite have a 10-year mark yet. So I guess it's a rather new one. But here, look, 5 years, 38%. In 3 years, 43%. In 1 year, 116. So when it comes to investing, guys, it's you're playing the long haul. It's for the long term. You shouldn't be putting it in and taking your money out in 3 months, in a year, even 3 years. 5 years is the minimum you should leave it in. And if the people watching this are around my age in their 20s, you should not be touching that money until freaking 30 years, I would say. Let that money grow. Let that compound interest accumulate. Let it work to your advantage. Take full advantage of that. All you young people, we have that. We have time on our side. That's the biggest thing when it comes to investing. So guys, yeah, these ETFs, index funds, that's all I have my money in currently. I will probably never invest in an individual stock. I have no interest. I don't have the desire or really the knowledge to know exactly how it's going to be moving, and there's a lot of risk when you're only invested in a single company. But these ETFs and index funds are very diverse. They have a abundance of stocks that if one does bad, there's a bunch of other to combat the bad one. And guys, it's really quite simple. Just open up an investment account. You can open one with TD Ameritrade, Fidelity, Webull, Robinhood, Vanguard, just to name a few. You download the app, put your information in. You literally put in SPY-G. So now if you wanted to buy SPY-G, it's $51.71. So to buy that one ETF, you need $51.71. That was of yesterday. It's probably changed a little bit, either up or down, but roughly $50. If you wanted the IWM ETF, it would cost you $162. And if you wanted the SPY S&P 500 index fund, it would cost you $347. Now, there's some that go higher than that. There's ETFs that trade for $36. There's $20 ETFs. So, guys, you really don't need that much money. Especially if you have, like I said, if you have the time on your side, if you're able to put 20, 50, $100 and just start there. And as you make more money, as you cut back your expenses, you're able to up it to your 200, 300, 400. Hopefully you're able to put a couple grand a month. And if you're able to do that, the returns are going to be insurmountable. So please, guys, get investing, get an app, put these letters in, IWM, put SPY, buy it, and watch your money grow. And that's it. I mean, there's not much to it, guys. It's not a scary process. It can be quite easy if you just take the time to do your due diligence. And again, don't just take my word for it. I'm no financial advisor. I'm not an expert. But you could, like I said, you can look at the returns yourself on Yahoo Finance. Guys, 16% in 10 years, that's crazy compared to your 0.9 in savings account. So that's all I got for you. If you guys got value in this video, please drop a like, please subscribe, and until next time.